Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wellsome, a podcast where wellness meets self development. I am Vicky, and in each episode, I'm going to dive deep into real conversations about health and personal growth. In today's episode, I have the pleasure to have with me Chiara Seidenader, which is a lovely guest that I couldn't wait to interview. And how would you introduce yourself, Chiara? I asked you before, but actually, why not asking you directly? How would you introduce yourself?
Amazing. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mariana, for having me here, first of all.
of course.
So it's a good question. I would say that nowadays I would like to use the definition longevity specialist.
Yeah, love that.
Why is that? Is because longevity is such a buzzword nowadays, of course, but it's
Yeah,
also such a complex word that entails so many different aspects in it. And
true.
this is exactly what my work entails nowadays. So
Yeah,
we look at all pillars that make up lifestyle and life in general,
yeah,
which is nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, mindset. So all of that is what makes up ultimately longevity, and this is what
yeah,
I kind
yeah.
of
I love
specify
that.
in.
I love that. And actually, guys, this is the reason why she's here today because I really wanted to get the best out of her because she has so much knowledge and she also has a startup regarding treats and she did so many things and she's also very specialized as she said in longevity and we're gonna dive deep into not only all the pillars that she touched and she said but also we're gonna specifically investigate on which are actually the main problems, health problems that Chiara sees every day through her clients, but also the misconceptions around supplements and health in general. But now it's her turn to talk. The first thing that I wanted to ask you is, how did you get into wellness?
All right. I must say I used to be quite a lazy teenager back in the days.
Okay.
So I was actually totally maybe the opposite on what I am today. And yeah, I love to eat. I'm from Italy, as you know. There's kind of
Yeah,
a
we are. Yeah, there's a bit of Italian vibe here today for
there's
you
always
guys.
that kind of more eye and sweet tooth and savory tooth for everything that has to do with foods. So yeah, that was my teenager's year. I tried to put myself into playing volleyball and everything, but it was just more for the sake of having to do something.
Yeah.
Then around my university years, that's where I actually started feeling exactly the need for be more active because I
Yeah.
saw that between studying, starting my work career, I was just sitting a lot and I was still back in Italy. So
Yeah.
that's how I naturally dived into literally studying different levels of training and nutrition. And back then, with my partner, life partner at the time, we decided to open a gym
Oh,
in Italy back in
wow.
2015, which marks right today exactly 10 years of
Congrats.
the life of the gym that we built 10 years ago. And that was the result of our passion. So
Wow.
we basically, yeah, dived deep into studying from weightlifting, powerlifting. CrossFit was huge at the time, so that was how we started. And then, yeah, nutrition and all of that. So this was my real fitness passion back in the days, and that's how it all started. But it naturally slided more into the wellness conversation and interest because then moving forward, so fast forward to my Dubai life, that
Yeah.
was 8 years ago, I started having my family getting sick.
Yeah.
And my dad in 2018 died of cancer the year that I moved here. So he had a stage 4 cancer, and it was very, very impossible basically for him to recover. It was a very rapid illness, let's say. And my mom already before struggled with breast cancer, and then she had other health concerns. My sister struggled with suicidal depression. So all of that in that complex 5 years, 5 6 years of my life moving from Italy to Dubai and experiencing all of that made me really dive deeper and naturally question myself. Why are we all getting so sick? Like,
Yeah.
is this, something that is just happening to us? Is it,
Yeah.
a family course, or is it happening also to others? And that's what made me really dive deeper into the studying of functional medicine, supplements, natural supplements, and natural healing methodologies, because through medications, I saw my family not really getting all the benefits they were meant to be having. And funny enough, of course, the natural course of things made it so that I got sick as well around those 4 or 5 years ago. It was COVID time. So back then, I struggled with a bit of everything from Crohn's disease to adrenal fatigue to liver toxicity. So all of that concoction of different symptoms that I had was very hard to, first of all, diagnose myself, but also for doctors to diagnose.
Yeah.
So that's what dived me much deeper into, okay, what can I do with natural natural foods and natural supplementation in order to adjust that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the mental aspect is what also
Yeah.
helped a lot. So all of this
Yeah.
naturally made me, yes, dive much more into the studying of
I love it.
longevity,
I
and
love it.
then and that's
I
how.
love it also because I feel very connected to your story because it's very similar to mine and very similar to the reason why I dive deep into wellness. And there, I mean, we can say a lot about, the methods, the medication, and the fact that sometimes medicine can be very generic and very like, oh, you have something, just take a pill.
Yeah.
When actually no one is really taking care of, okay, but why do you have this?
Yeah.
How did it start? Like, is there an emotional impact on it? So I just wanted to ask you out of curiosity, do you think that, because you told me that at some point you also got sick and you also had some issues,
Yeah.
do you think that emotionally, like your emotional or your mental state, like impact those issues?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. And I think if not the main driver, it's definitely one of the factors that uh, impacted my health
Yeah.
for the most. One of the main reasons, and that's why I literally tried to kind of fix myself and work on myself. And I started from, okay, I'm very healthy, but what can I do on a nutritional level that
Yeah.
can make me feel healthier, get healthier? Okay, I can adjust a few things, fine. What can I do on a movement, exercise, active level to try to adjust these things? What can I do on a supplement level? Okay, but then once all of this was fixed and in place, the mental aspect was the one that was actually lacking. And
Yeah.
and here is where I realized, okay, all the stress related symptoms, everything that had to do also with my liver toxicity, especially the inflammation that I had in the gut, very much of that was actually linked to my strong perception and response to stress back
Yeah.
then. And many of the things, of course, built up over the years. So
Yeah.
once I started feeling the symptoms, that's
Yeah.
that's actually already a result of built up
Absolutely.
chronic stress
Absolutely.
reactions that then created, of course,
Absolutely.
heavier concerns in the body.
Absolutely. So I would say that maybe this was your pivotal moment actually when you actually shift and you decided to take care of yourself in a holistic way, I would
Exactly,
say.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, holistic way. That's absolutely why what I would say is what I realized also made more of an impact when helping others in their own health journey.
Yeah.
And as I dive deeper into my own health journey, I realized that also all my clients that were coming to me were shifting in their interest to getting treated in specific different way. If in our 20s maybe we were all about fitness and
Yeah.
outer appearance, physical appearance, performance, then you realize as we proceed with our age and our priorities shift as well, and we do of course incur in more in other concerns that are naturally
Yeah.
the results of life and as we age. So many of more of the people were coming to me literally with specific chronic concerns over the time, and the majority of them especially with digestive issues.
Yeah.
So that's how then I said, okay, there's not just one way, of course, to
Yeah.
go to the root cause and heal
Yeah. Yeah.
the cause of it. It's a combination of things, and we need to consider all of that, of course, in order
Yeah, absolutely.
to
And I
solve.
love that you're saying that, because I would never get tired of saying, like, it's never one thing. You just need to look at your overall health and
Yeah.
state of mind and state and physical state and mental state, emotional state. So it's not never like, okay, like I have a bruise in my legs, or okay, I didn't digest, okay, take a pill and then, live it
Yeah.
like this.
Exactly, and I think we are very lucky that we are living in this pivotal era, as you say,
Yes.
because there's a lot of shift happening into general human consciousness and awareness of the importance of taking into consideration
Yeah.
all different aspects
Yeah.
that make up our life. At the same time, there is more awareness, which again is getting slower, but there is more awareness and more willingness into go into this direction also from the medical and pharmaceutical system.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a process that will take longer because there's huge systems in place, and of course also the ways that doctors get their instructions and their teaching and all of that
Yeah.
is completely different. But I am really looking forward also to what will happen in the next few years
Yeah.
and see how the whole general medical system will change and adapt to this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also because now people have more knowledge after COVID. People
Yeah.
wants to know more, and it's not enough just to say, "Oh, there is this pill." Now people are like, "Okay, but what if instead I'm going for a nice workout? What if instead I take this herb? What if instead I don't know, go to a very nice therapy and do like RTT." We just had an episode about RTT, and it was very mind blowing for me to understand that even the subconscious mind is so important.
Yeah, and I have to say that actually also the place we live in and
Yeah.
the region, the special region of the Middle East where we live in, is a very nice, focal point that combines, Eastern and Western world.
Yeah.
So we can really take the chance to kind of take the positive aspects of, modern technological advancements, the importance of, new testing
Yeah.
developments and preventions that is what we should use and take
Yeah.
into consideration from the medical system, yet at the same time also try to use what is coming from the
Yeah.
Eastern world and all their centuries and millennials of knowledge that they have around ancient medicine
Yeah.
and making sure that we can also remember to literally combine mind and body that have been kind of divided in terms
Absolutely.
of treatment in the Western
Yes. Yes. I
world.
love this perception, actually. I agree totally. It's like a chance to combine them,
Yeah.
instead of like, separated.
Yes,
Yeah.
consider them as separate. Yeah.
So like as you said, right now, a lot of people are focused on healthy living. However, I see that there are also like a lot of misconceptions about healthy livings, and I think that sometimes we go to extremes even when it comes to healthy living. And I want to hear your take on about this, because I mean, as an expert and especially longevity expert, I would like to hear what you think about this wave of healthy living. Is it like completely positive, or do you see also some extremes and negative sides?
Yeah, it's a very good point. I think, again, we are in the era of overload of information,
Yeah.
and of course, overload of information brings a lot of stimulus and for us, and so we try to follow everything that we see. But generally speaking, what I believe is happening is a sort of dramat dramaticalization or
Yeah.
dramatization of everything that we do. So everything related to the health topic, the health industry, it's a sort of all or nothing conversation.
Yeah.
So whatever you eat is either killing you or saving you,
Yeah.
or extending your lifespan twofold. So there's all this kind of, this is great or this is bad, and do all of this all in, otherwise you're not gonna get to your results. So this is a kind of mentality that of course has been created, and kind of conversation that has been created to really drive more visibility also to
Yeah.
whatever the conversation is nowadays on social media, so that it drives more attention and more engagement. But when we really talk about health, we know that whatever we do has to be considered in a holistic way.
Yeah.
So whatever we do will never kill us unless we do it for every single day, all hours of our day. For
Yeah.
example, when it comes to eating specific foods or drinking specific things, like it's not all about that. And so I believe the golden rule of that 80-20, no,
Yeah.
where we find our balance, we know, of course, what are the right healthy things to do, and we all of that know that. We don't
Yeah.
need that extra reel on Instagram to remind us what we need to do. So we all know what the general health rules are, and if we are able to follow those for 80% of the time, and then for the rest of the 20% of the time we can just relax and enjoy life and
Yeah.
know that, you know, that can of Coke Zero is not gonna kill us,
Of
or
course.
that you know, sweet dessert is not gonna spike our blood sugars and make us gain 3 kilograms. So it's all fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. And based on your experience and based also on the territory, because I, for example, personally in my work, I see that a lot of people are struggling with digestive issues, and
Yeah.
even like especially here in the Middle
Yeah.
East a lot. So, have you seen the same struggles? Do you think this is increasing? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I share it a lot also when I talk with my clients, and also in other speaking interventions. We were talking about it also with an Italian university last week. So, generally speaking, all types of autoimmune diseases recently have grown a lot just over the last course of this generation. So,
Ah, interesting.
we are getting more you know, more advancement,
Yeah,
technological advancement, medical advancement. We have extended our lifespan by a few decades compared to just a couple of generations ago.
true.
Yet at the same time, just over the course of the last 50 years, we are getting more sick than
Yeah,
ever before. And the majority of the types of disease that we are developing is kind of autoimmune disease. Then there's also a special conversation we can do about this, because the majority of autoimmune disease, unfortunately, trigger mainly women than men.
oof.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. But at the same time, generally speaking, we can say that yes, we are seeing a rise of those autoimmune diseases, and this concern digestive issues, this concern neuro related type of degenerative concerns. It can relate to hormonal imbalances, and so on and so forth. At the same time, we are seeing also the rise of other chronic concerns that are generally related to higher cardiovascular issues, insulin resistance, higher diabetes. So all of this has been literally on a rise, and the reason is that, generally speaking, yes, we have more tools at disposal, but we're still maybe not making that much use of it. And also, if we have more tools at disposal for testing, for prevention, at the same time, we have also much less time availability at disposal, because now we are really getting much busier
Yeah,
with life, with work. And this is really taking a toll on us, and is increasing the perception, the response that we have to stress. And generally speaking, everything is, again, what really has then the biggest
yeah,
impact on our gut. So this, as you might definitely
yeah,
know about it, is gut-brain axis is
yeah,
the connection that we have between gut and brain. So both from the way and from the foods that we're eating, we are affecting our gut,
yeah,
that releases specific neurotransmitters to our brain, yet at the same time, from our brain, from our perceptions to emotions to stress triggers and all of that, we are then creating
yeah,
a specific impact on our gut. And this is why that nowadays the majority of people slash women particularly do come to me with bloating, discomforts, digestive issues, IBS, leaky gut, and
Yeah.
and a lot of mood related concerns.
Yeah, yeah, because it is connected,
Yeah.
definitely. And also I think also, like in every, I swear, in every episode that I had so far, I cannot even remember one episode when ever, like all of my guests said, I had a burnout, I was stressed, so this happened to me.
Yeah.
So I think that especially in a city like Dubai, where
Yeah.
everything is based on, hustling and
Yes.
work, which is amazing on one side, but on the other side it really puts your health in a very challenging position. I think that now what also I struggle, and I'm sure you too, to convey, especially during the consultation, when it comes to digestive issues, is that like the mind and the mental state, it's so important.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you is, for example, if a person comes to you and it feels, or she feels that she has gut issues or IBS, so what are the symptoms that we need to have a look at to actually, understand, hey, I might have a problem?
Yeah. So the gut is again complex machine because it's the longest organ that we have
It's
in
a
our body,
brain.
no? Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's our second brain. So there are so many different symptoms that we can have that do actually start from our gut. And we can basically divide them into digestive related type of concerns, of course. So and non-digestive related concerns. So the first ones, digestive related concerns, are everything that we can experience as we eat that can express itself as bloating right a few hours after we eat, acid reflux right as after we eat, or literally digestive discomfort, like stinging
Cramps.
pain
Yeah.
exactly in the stomach, or different types of not standard motility that we are experiencing, such as constipation or, again, too much of a loose stool. So all of these digestive related symptoms clearly are stating that there is some imbalance on a gut level that we need to address.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of easiest types of symptoms that we can already pinpoint as gut-related concerns. The second ones are the non-digestive related concerns that we still experience that are a bit milder and again don't really come to our eye that often, but still can be a very crucial indicator of us having to understand what is happening on a gut level. And these related concerns can be, for example, skin issues. And there are a lot of clients that come to me. They have sometimes eczemas, psoriasis. Sometimes they just have skin rashes
Yeah.
every now and then. And they cannot explain themselves why they do have it, but everything apparently is fine. The foods they're eating are fine. They can eat kind of everything. But everything that has an impact on our skin is literally the direct mirror of the situation in our internal gut. So in the internal lining of our gut and how our gut is
Yeah.
metabolizing foods. So this is a huge one. Then we can also experience it in, for example, hair loss, more brittle type of frail nails. And of course, another huge one is everything related to our general mental health and our
Mood
mental health
swings. Yeah.
stability. So if we are experiencing exactly very unstable mood swings, anxiety, heavier breathing, sometimes it can happen also related to whenever we're eating, and sometimes also more depressive types of states. This also is literally a highlight, kind of, highlight to literally say, okay, let us look at the
Yeah.
gut and if what we can do to actually address these
Yeah.
symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely. I love that you spot that. And yeah, definitely. I think we should not only focus on the proper, oh, I'm eating this and I feel bloated. And you know what I see in a lot of people is that sometimes they don't take actions when like they feel something,
Yeah.
because they might think, oh, probably just maybe this pizza was too heavy, but the truth is that, and I want to also hear your opinion about this, also the food that we're eating, it's different compared to
Yeah.
many years ago.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Exactly. So in this case, already we are living in a city that
Yeah.
mainly imports everything from the outside. So of course, the nutrient density of the foods that we're eating is already much more limited, because when it undergoes transportation, it is delivered in plastic and in
Yeah.
containers. So of course, we're not eating it as fresh as from the
Yeah. From
ground.
yes.
So already this is a different change in the nutrient density. But generally speaking, also independently from the city we're living in nowadays, of course, we are generally having access to more nutrient depleted foods, exactly because of general genetic crop modification,
Yeah.
of the overutilization of soils that have just lost more of the nutrient density.
Yeah.
So of course, all of this has created more loss in the nutrients that we're eating, and this is why nowadays we are experiencing more nutrient deficiencies. And all of us, usually when we test that, once or twice a year, which should be usually the minimum standard, it
Yeah.
not always is, we are always seeing some lower vitamin or mineral deficiencies.
Yeah.
And it is very important nowadays that we are able to, introduce and implement those through the nutrition and the foods they were eating. But since we cannot have full access and full nutrient richness from the foods alone, unless we would eat, 3 times
Yeah.
what our caloric intake
Yes.
can need, then we need to supplement. And this is
Absolutely.
why nowadays it is so much more important than how it used to be generations ago. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of debate also around should we supplement or not. But yes, nowadays it's
Yeah.
not even a question that we should ask ourselves anymore, because
Yeah.
we need to
We have to. Yeah.
yes, reach those standard levels of the main nutrients that we need in our body. And in order to do that, we have
Yeah.
to get it from
Yeah.
supplements.
And for example, let's say that between like among our listeners, so there is a person that actually it might listen to the episode and say, maybe I have gut issues. So now we spot exactly what are the, let's say, like the symptoms. So you as a specialist, taking also thinking about longevity, how would you trick someone with, for example, digestive issues? Or I know that there are many digestive issues types, so it cannot be one fit for everyone. But for example, if a person would really like to start to take care of like their gut, where would you start from?
Very good point. So there's always few things that we can start very easily from our daily habits. And what is very important to understand first is that if we are taking any medications, then of course we need first of all to understand how essential they are if we are following a specific type of
Yeah.
cure. But we need to be aware that we might have some inflammation and some gut related disorder that has been originated from taking that medication for a prolonged amount of time. So any single time we are taking medication, there needs to be a time where we do follow a specific protocol of foods and supplements to reestablish the right gut flora that we have.
Yeah.
And if we are able to get off that medication, and again, I'm saying this because I do have so many clients that again come to me and sometimes are taking so much more medication than they actually do not need.
Of course. Yeah.
And they take cortisone because they have an allergy. They're taking, again, stomach acid reflux pills, and they don't need it because they just need to understand it. So especially here in the Middle East, I see so much more
Quick fixes.
the
Yeah.
easy access and the easy habit for people to access medication when they do have some symptoms. So,
Yeah.
and again, I'm not even talking about very heavy specific type of medications. Sometimes I have so many friends of mine that they just generally take on a daily basis a Panadol or an aspirin.
I was about to say the same thing, I swear. I was
And
about to say the
and
same
so
thing.
many of my friends that actually give it to their kids,
Yeah,
which, by the way, maybe suffer very often from allergies. And also, allergies is definitely one of those great non-digestive related symptoms that are related to some gut imbalance. So all of that is usually not taking much into consideration. But if we are consistently putting ourselves under some sort of medications that can be, again, antibiotics, antacids, easy anti-inflammatory, supposedly anti-inflammatory Panadols, Advil, paracetamol, or even heavier steroids or birth control pills, all of these, then if we can and if we are in a position that allow us to get off and that or not necessarily need them, first of all, we get off of
yeah,
them. Then after that, we have to do a sort of cleansing phase that, of course, makes sure that we can get rid of the overbuilt of parasites and toxins that we accumulate anyway over time
of
because
course.
we are more
Exposed,
exposed
yeah.
anyway to processed foods, to toxins and chemicals that we have not just from foods but also from the clothing we wear, the
Environment, yeah.
creams and the makeups we wear, and of course the environment that has its own degree of pollution. So
Yeah.
all of that creates an overbuild of toxins and parasites in our gut. So first of all, undergoing a cleansing so that we can actually prepare a clean ground and a
Clean
clean
Canva, yeah.
soil, exactly, that then we can actually seed with the right foods. And so after that, and only after this, is where we can then potentially intervene with, of course, a higher increase of fibers, polyphenols. I talk a lot about this with my clients. The essential nutrients and supplements, and then after that, of course, gradual intervention and reinsertion of specific foods that might have been the triggers earlier on.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for unwrapping this. Actually, this is exactly the way to go. And I appreciate so much that you point out the fact that, like, sometimes all these medications that I agree that here in Middle East, medications are very, very, very available. I see that sometimes I don't want to say that in Europe are not available, but I see that you need maybe a prescriptions or maybe because of the culture, you try other remedies before, while here it's just
True.
like I remember that especially like among all of my friends, sometimes I would say, "Oh, I have a little bit of headache." But for example, me, I'm a person that even like 3 weeks ago, I was severely sick. I didn't even take one medicine.
Yeah.
Like I rather manage from home. That
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I can do that. By the way, I
Yeah.
just also want to say this. But I ate curcuma as there's no
Yeah.
tomorrow. Like I went on heavy natural remedies, but I think I haven't touched medicine in a very long while. But I know that, for example, when a person has like headache, and sometimes I'm like, I'm talking with a friend, and I'm like, oh, I have a little bit of headache, but maybe it's not even severe, just like me complaining about maybe a stressful day. I was like, just take Panadol,
Yeah.
and I'm like, every time I'm like, oh wow, that's the first solution that comes into your mind. It's
Exactly.
not like maybe you didn't sleep well, or just take a rest, just go for a massage, just go for a swim,
Yeah.
just take Panadol.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. Absolutely agree with this.
Yeah. So I love that you spotted out because I really want also our listeners to know that there is like it's less complicated than
Yeah.
they think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually you spot out exactly the solutions. And now talking about supplements, because you said that of course first you need to prepare and you need to welcome you need to prepare your gut to just reintroduce maybe food and just decrease the level of inflammation. But then you also said that in the world we live in, it's actually essential to integrate supplements because we don't have as much access as good nutrients
Yeah.
and good source of nutritional
Yeah.
levels as
Yeah.
before. So first of all, just want to ask you, like there's a lot of buzz around supplements, and I'm getting to know even more, but I want to hear your opinion about what like what's the biggest misconception around supplements and how would you integrate them?
Okay. The biggest misconception around supplements maybe is that we don't need that, but I think also this is kind of shifting, especially in the last couple of years, because now we are actually maybe going on the other opposite
Yeah.
end where we're taking too many of
Yeah.
them and we don't understand anymore what to take,
Yeah.
and especially the kind of biohackers or longevity addicts and the people that are really looking into extending their lifespan. And of course, it's a very positive aspect that we're trying to take more care of it. But sometimes there's too much of a rush into what are the latest type of so-called longevity supplements that
The
are out there
trends.
on the
Yeah.
market, exactly the trends, which, by the way, again, some of them are very expensive and some of them are even not much science backed by research and clinical trials on humans to really know what can be the side effects over time. And in these regards, I'm talking
Interesting.
specifically about peptides, about specific stem cells. So there's a lot of doctors and specialists out there that nowadays, not even just doctors, but even trainers and yeah, even trainers that just advise to their clients to start taking specific peptides to
Oh.
improve. I had another client the other day. She was suggested to take BPC 157 to improve her hair situation. BPC 17 is maybe one of the most researched or let's say kind of longest peptides on the market, but has been strictly more related to being used for repairing tissue. So in case of injuries, in case of muscle damage or tissue damage, then it is good to heal faster whatever wound it can be. But then again, I can or should not prescribe such a specific type of peptide for repairing your
Yeah.
hair, because there are so many other things that I can do and I can take and I can advise taking before actually
Yeah.
going straight into a peptide that actually has another primary
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
It can maybe, as a side effect, improve more gut healing
Yeah.
somehow in order then to support more hair
Yeah.
regeneration. But there's so many other ways through foods, through other supplements, by which we can actually target the exact
Yeah.
need in an easier way.
Yeah.
And again, so there's a lot of rush and a lot of easy access to these type of products and supplements that are too recently out on the market. And what I say, and I always try to keep and repeat saying to my clients as well, is we can spend as much as we want on the latest supplement, that if we do not have the basic covered, we're just spending money out for nothing. And we're
Yeah.
literally just flushing our money down
Yeah.
the sink.
Yeah.
And first of all, we need to understand what are the basic supplements. And there are three main ones that I always keep repeating nonstop. Because if we don't have that covered, then no other thing we are taking are actually really helping us.
Yeah. What are they?
And these three are omega-3, EPA, DHA fatty acids, and magnesium. There are different types, and then according to whatever needs there are here, can be different ones. I usually suggest the glycinate type because it's one of the best ones that can support both nerves and muscular system regeneration. And then the last one, and but not least, is vitamin D. And the best way is also D3 in combination with K2 because then it gets easier absorbed in
Yeah.
the bones. So all of these three supplements are key into our nutrition and have to be there lifelong. They don't have to be a protocol that are like if we are deficient in it or not, or we are healthy or not, that doesn't matter. We should take them lifelong because these are crucial into maintaining all our basic hormonal balance,
Yeah.
maintaining our immune system in check, making sure that we do have optimal energy levels and recovery.
Yeah.
So all of these three together play really
Yeah.
the perfect match if we don't have this covered, we can take anything else. It doesn't really serve us. So
Yeah.
let's start always, and that's what I say also, less is more. And let's start from the basics
Yeah.
first in order then to build the right
Absolutely.
soil to then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
add
I'm
on.
actually I'm actually now taking magnesium since a couple of months, especially not only for recovery because when I was lifting heavy weights, I found myself sometimes being very very sore, but
Yeah.
also because I'm struggling with sleep so much. And since I've taken magnesium, I saw differences. Of course, there are days,
Of
where
course.
you're more stressed,
Of
omega
course.
3 as well, mostly for also brain
Yes,
activities as well.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Cardiovascular
Yeah,
health as well. So,
yeah. And I notice as well that a lot of people, even though it's so funny, we live in the sun, but we're lacking a
yeah.
lot of vitamin D
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and generally speaking, already worldwide, anyways, 90% of people are
Yeah,
lacking vitamin D. Over 60% of people are lacking magnesium and are lacking some other type of vitamin. And usually here I'm referring to B vitamins. And even just like there's such very basic things that we need in our system that can actually, if we are really lacking them, can be very threatening to our health. Like
yeah,
even folate, natural B9 vitamin. If we're deficient in it, we can risk Alzheimer and dementia.
yeah,
Okay, if we have too low vitamin D levels, these is affecting our immune system. It's affecting our general hormonal health, our natural energy levels.
yeah,
So we need to keep them in check. And also, most importantly, they do not just have to be, within the standard levels that
yeah,
usually clinic labs are showing us. We need to check also, okay, if we're not in the danger zone, how much is actually, like, what is the level within what is the considered the norm,
yeah,
what is the level, and if we are on the lower end of that level, let's make sure that we're not sufficient. Let's make sure that we are in optimal
yeah,
levels and go on the higher end of especially of these types of nutrients,
yeah,
because that way we can really make sure that we can delay as much as possible the onset of chronic
yeah,
concerns.
yeah. And also, you point out something that I really want to touch base with you is the study around peptides, because like even for me, I mean, we need to be updated all the time, and of course, as coaches, we read and we sometimes we have clients that ask us, yeah, but what about the strand? Yeah, but what about the studies? And now it seems like I also read like a scientist report about peptides, and I was very intrigued. Yet I still have some. I don't want to say skeptical ideas about it, but I'm not 100% sure if we need to be all in peptides. But I want to hear your intake, so you might, we might have like a interesting conversation about it, and maybe also our listeners can
Yeah.
hear.
So exactly, as I said before, it first of all, it always goes down to the single situation of that person
Yeah,
and how much the person has been already doing for their health. Because sometimes we are talking about people that have already some specific concerns or have not been doing anything or are already very much health aware and
yeah,
are doing many things. So we need to consider what the starting point is. And as I said before, if we have everything in check and our nutrition is in check, our lifestyle is in check, our supplements game is in check, and then we are aiming at upgrading and leveling up in few things that can again can be different types of goals related to increasing or supporting rejuvenating pathways. It
yeah,
can be into diminishing wrinkles and improving skin and hair health. It can be in improving performance and so many different goals. And we have different types of peptides that can actually help in that.
yeah,
As I say, if we do want to try this route of peptides, discuss it with your doctor, see if you can try, and please try only from one type of peptide. Don't combine them because I've had this as well. And try it over time, over a time of 3 months, 3, maximum 6 months, depending, of course, on the type of peptide, and then see and have a break. Like
Yeah.
as it should be with any type of additional supplement that we're taking for specific types of
Yeah.
outcomes, we should always cycle them for a specific amount of time, 3 to 6 months maximum, and then have a rest, have a break, see what effects are on our body when we're taking it and when we're not taking it.
Yeah.
And again, it should absolutely be supervised by doctors. And as I say, there are so many types of other supplements that we can take also to still work. Of course, with maybe a slower effect, yet it's much more science-backed just because it's been so many other types of again, studies that
Yeah.
have been done around supplements that have been out there for decades
Yeah.
as opposed
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
peptides.
Yeah. And last questions. How do you see the wellness and health industry going in the future? And specifically, we touch base mostly everything. And actually, this is not going to be the last question. I want to also touch base with you about your startup because I'm very intrigued about what you're doing with your snacks. But the last question that I want to ask you regarding this all health steps that we discussed, where do you think the health and wellness journey and the trend will go in the future?
Very interesting question. So I think there will be definitely much more use from all of us of technology and wearable devices
Yeah.
that will allow us to just monitor and have more data about our general health. So it will definitely be much more automized. I
Yeah.
believe there will be less and less the need to always reach out to a consultant, a physical, like a live consultant,
Yeah.
in order to keep our health in check. Everything will be definitely much more automized thanks to AI, but also more personalized thanks to AI. So, of course, we have to consider the positive aspects of these developments in this aspect as well. So, we definitely might be able to get more bespoke, tailor-made, and to the point types of both preventative measures, but also testing measures and diagnosis for whatever is our concerns.
Yeah.
So definitely we might be able through these ways to still increase our lifespan by a few more years over the next few years. So again, there's also a lot of conversation around what is so-called the longevity escape velocity. So
Yeah.
by every year we're living now, we are actually already extending lifespan because of all this scientific development that is
Yeah.
happening. So we are living in a very interesting era. So we will be making use of it. We will be more aware of our health thanks to that. Yet at the same time, I believe we will need ourselves to put much more attention to the mental health
Yeah.
aspect, and this has to grow and will have to come from ourselves to be able to understand how much time and attention to put into this into our daily practices, because life is just generally accelerating as it is
Yes.
as a pace. So it's very important that we are aware of putting an understanding and more of an attention to that. Yet at the same time, I believe that also in the future, the more we will advance, we will have this combination of, yes, technological advancement and importance of the mental health aspect.
Yeah.
And by importance of the mental health aspect, I'm really talking about trying to let go more of the mind and the mental aspect whilst engaging more in mindfulness activities that make us reconnect with our heart and with our emotions.
Yeah. I love this concept because now that I'm thinking, I think we will use technology, and I agree with you when you're saying that technology would help us on a physical level, and especially when it comes to data, when it comes to tracking and everything. I mean, we're already going in that direction. I also do believe that sometimes when we are connected to technology, we are
Of
disconnected
course, absolutely.
with ourselves and with the people around
Yeah.
us. So it will be super, super interesting to see how we will balance them all, like the
Yeah.
would say the connection with technology, and be like, okay, I'm wearing this device, I'm tracking, so I'm focused on looking at this data for myself, but on the other side I need to disconnect to this and then connect it to myself and the people that I really want to have in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we were discussing this also last week, but and this is how we finish the conversation. Also, one of the main key drivers of longevity is the sense of community that we have and the
Yes.
sense of satisfaction of the relationships that we have in our life.
Yeah.
So this is one of the fundamental metrics, and they have done a study. It's the Harvard study of adult development, where they literally took together 1,300 people over 80. And they asked them at the age of 80 what was their best satisfaction at age 50. And they have analyzed that the biggest indicator of their long health span was their satisfaction, their happiness about relationships at age 50 when they
Yeah.
had age. So even more of an indicator than cholesterol, than smoking, than
Absolutely.
drinking, than anything else. So
Absolutely.
it's really, again, going back to how we started the conversation. Also, this is why the whole topic of longevity will be, and it's just a new and never-ending field of research, because it is so
Yeah.
comprehensive and so
Yes,
holistic.
yes. Where do you see, now that I'm thinking, like sometimes people here, especially in the city, especially in Dubai, they're complaining a little bit about the sense of community that it's quite lacking. Are you agree with this, or do you disagree? Do you think there is a solution for this?
Good point. I think, especially over the last few years, we have seen in Dubai so much more the rise of beautiful communities that are there. A lot of communities of female entrepreneurs, gym junkies,
Yeah,
and runners
runners.
clubs,
Yeah,
and book walks, and so
yeah,
many different things. So there's a lot of communities for every single type of interest that we have.
yeah.
And I must say that for me, especially coming from the countryside of a little city in Italy, we do not have this
No.
in other areas of the world.
Yeah,
So
true.
we can define ourselves lucky to live in a city where, yes, there is a lot of distraction and a lot of busyness that keeps us, of
And
course.
distance as well in terms of
Yes,
like
exactly.
geographically.
We have
Yeah,
so much more
yeah,
traffic going on, and so many things that actually make it more difficult for us to connect and stay with
yeah.
specific friends and communities. Yet at the same time, we always have to consider it's a big city, and the fact that we have communities originating that can bring us closer together according to our interests is a wonderful thing. And
Yeah.
I think we really have to be grateful about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, 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 definitely. And now I wanna hear about your journey, about the beauty treats. Am I spelling
Yes,
correctly? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Exactly. So that has started around the years where I struggled with my own digestive issues.
yes,
So it started out of passion, out of my genuine egotistical interest to maybe create something out of
yeah,
my own passion. And so, yeah, I just dive deep into creating snacks that are completely gluten-free and sugar-free. They do not have any preservatives, but also that are actually nutrient rich. And that was literally born as I saw that when I adjusted my own little digestive issues, of course, cutting sugars on an empty stomach, specific types of carbs, or specific types of just too much of refined
yeah,
snacks was what helped me, along with increasing specific types of supplements, and one of those was collagen.
yeah,
So this is how, again, I'm a sweet tooth Italian that loves sweets and sugars. So that's how I came out with, okay, I want something nice that I can enjoy, that is a treat, but at the same time that is nutrient rich with good nutrients,
yeah,
and that does not have all the trash that we
yeah.
actually do have in snacks nowadays. Of course, there's,
Especially protein bars, I would
yes,
say.
especially protein
Yeah,
bars, because there's a lot of artificial sweeteners,
yeah.
non-caloric sweeteners, but they're still very
Dairy, so yeah,
pro-inflammatory. And So yeah, trying to avoid the most pro-inflammatory type of ingredients that are gluten, that are dairy, that are sugar, that are everything related to artificial additives, colorings, and all of
Yeah.
that. And we have powerful antioxidants such as ginger, turmeric, spirulina, matcha, very powerful nutrient dense nuts and seeds that
Yeah.
also give us fibers and are very important for our digestive system. Plus, of course, collagen peptides that also
I love it.
help to literally heal the
Yeah,
gut
of
and our
course.
body from the inside out.
I love it. I love it. And Chiara, thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank
We
you so
touched
much.
base a lot of things, but I'm sure that our listeners will be so inspired by all these insights that you share, which for me are super fundamental, especially for people that are interested in, diving deep into, or maybe just start their health journey.
Absolutely.
And where people can find you.
They can find me here in Dubai on Instagram under chiara.seidenader. And yes,
Yeah, and also your snack page as
exactly,
well.
beauty treats as well.
Beauty
More than
treats.
happy if you
Perfect.
can try some snacks and give me
Perfect.
your feedback.
I love that. I will be the first one because I'm
Absolutely.
gluten and dairy intolerant, so count me in.
Absolutely. I send you
Thank
some.
you so much, Chiara.
Thank you.
And guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Good.
Ah.